So family, how you guys doing today? I'm Webtoon King, and today I'll be doing my chapter review of Hardcore Leveling Warrior Earth Game Chapter 12. Now this chapter was very informative. We learned a lot of things, so first thing first, art style is always amazing. My score for this chapter is a 9 out of 10. We learned a lot this chapter, so I love this chapter. And again, I use my fast pass, so surprise, surprise. So the main points of this chapter is that I was confused at the beginning of the chapter because we saw Lee versus Ethan, and I wasn't sure what was going on until towards the end of the chapter, until we went into the flashback of why we're here. The first thing that shocked me in this chapter is the fact that Lee was easily beating up Ethan, like handling him easily. We also get a flashback of Lee finally noticing arms. I call her Armin. I think you say Armis or something. I don't know how to say her name. But anyway, Lee was finally able to see her, have his reaction towards her, crying and all that stuff, which makes sense because last chapter I was confused on why he was just excited to see hardcore leveling, but I guess he didn't see arms. So I love that they put that in. We also get we get a explanation of the three powers of Earth right now. So we also get more information about the Dragon of Light, her position on this world, her OP ability, and we learn what happened to Dark, aka Carter, this chapter. The last thing that happened this chapter basically is Ethan being able to accept that he's not as strong as he was before. Now story time, the part of the review where I go over the important information. Now we're gonna speed blitz the beginning of the chapter basically, because all that happened was Hardcore Leveling Warrior and Lee are just basically fighting. Lee was able to beat up Ethan easily. Lee's also trying to convince Ethan that he's not strong right now throughout the chapter, so he's obviously trying to protect Ethan, let him know, yo, you can't go after the Church of Pale Mother. But anyway, I'll talk about that more towards the end. And we also go quickly into the flashback on why they're fighting in the first place. But before I talk about the flashback about why they're fighting, let's talk about the flashback into us seeing BB talking to Arms and trying to figure out if she got her memory. Obviously he figured out she don't, and this is when we notice that Lee noticed that Arms is there, and he's so happy, and he's just crying all over the place. It was heartwarming, to be honest, and this is the reaction I was waiting for. But anyways, we also see the witch kind of mentioned to everybody that Hardcore Leveling Warrior is the one that helped, and the reason she's even alive right now. So Lee is kind of happy, kind of like yo, he's excited. He's running towards Ethan, is trying to hug him, but obviously Ethan still got his leg out trying to protect himself, so that's funny. We also see the witch kind of explain to us what's happening right now in the world. The first thing I'm going to talk about is the save data. So basically, save data, if you remember in chapter 2, well technically 1, chapter 1, Ethan was able to retain his memory because when he died, his body got replaced with the save data of Hardcore Leveling Warrior of Lucy Adventures. So that's the same thing that happened throughout the other three people of Lee, Drip, and BB or Shoko. And to be funny, I never even noticed this, and I don't know why I never even thought of it. I forgot it was a gunman in this group of trio. There's actually a four. There's supposed to be a 4-man team, but I forgot there was a gunman. So technically, we don't have the full team here. But anyways, the Wish is explaining about save data, and save data is basically people getting their basically their memories back with their powers. But there's also a unique way the church is using it. The Church of Pelmont is using it. They're basically taking people's save data and giving it to other people. So I think that's what happened with the gunman, because when Ethan mentioned the gunman, everybody looked kind of sad. Now this chapter we don't learn what happened to the gunman. I don't remember his name. He's important, but I forgot his name. He was in the OG series too. But I think that's what happened. Someone took a save data and gave it to someone. Well, the mother gave it to someone else. But I also, he's not dead, because later on the Wish mentioned that for them to use the ability, the person that was in charge, like the person that the save data is from, has to be alive. So that's a good news for the gunman. Also, we learn about Carter losing his ability. So basically the church took his save data and gave it to somebody else. And to know how OP Carter is, the save data they gave to someone else in the church currently is the #1 strongest church member. His name is S. Basically S. He's the #1 in the church, and technically he's the official and unofficial strongest character in Hardcore 11 Warrior Earth game right now. So it's basically he's the normal. Everybody's consenting that he's the strongest character so far, which is amazing. This is how you know Carter skill is so OP. Which is funny because Ethan had the chance to get this ability, to be honest. But anyways, we also learned that the Wish mentioned there's 3 different powers on Earth right now, called the Trinity: the gods, nature, and humans. Obviously humans are easy to know, gods are easy to know, nature I don't know yet. That's probably going to be explained later. And the Wish kind of was explained to us throughout the chapter about how the mother, well, not the mother, the god of the Dragon of Light, her story and how she basically became the Messiah for all religion, and she was the first one to be able to act when Earth became a game, basically. So she had an advantage. She kind of made every religious person kind of see her as a Messiah. She didn't force them, but I don't know how it happened. I don't know. They're gonna explain more later on, but she became the Messiah basically for all religions. And the reason it helped, it looks like she was in the egg and it was glowing. So obviously you know how religion is, and if people are really religious and you see somebody hatch from an egg and people start calling her a Messiah and everything. And not only that, she had the ability to pass out personal attribute, like basically abilities. So that's another thing we learned this chapter. So that's everything the Wish told us. Is basically she talked about the save data. She talked about the Dragon of Light and how she's able to pass out abilities. And we also learn about S, the #1 rank, unofficial rank, strongest character right now. And so this is learning all of this. We get out the flashback and we finally see Hardcore 11 trying his hardest to fight Lee. He's trying to do some traps, trick Lee, and try to attack him, but Lee is experienced with Ethan, so he basically know what his setup is and everything. He was able to block Ethan strongest attack, and when Lee was able to block Ethan was finally able to admit that he's not strong enough yet. He's willing to wait 2 weeks before he attacked the base. So it's character development. Ethan is able to admit that he's wrong, even though at the beginning of the chapter he was trying to fight Lee because he was hot-headed. He wanted to go straight to the base and fight them. But due to him losing to Lee, Ethan is able to admit that he needs to reset, get stronger, and then attack the base. Which, honestly, I thought Ethan was OP, but I guess not. Which I don't mind because I don't want him to be yet. But it makes sense because him losing to Lee, and Lee also mentioned to Ethan that, yo, the church have more strong people like me there. I think he mentioned like 100. But either way, it's good to see that Ethan is humble a little bit. So anyways, that's the end of my chapter review. I love using this fast pass. I'm about to go broke just using no hardcore leveling. But anyways, subscribe, comment down below, and do all the YouTube stuff. Toon family, we out.